They are visual, straightforward, uncomplicated, and best of all, fun. And I had the best time putting them together. A lot of the material came from learners with dyslexia, and we all know just how creative, incredibly creative they are. First book was 200 Tricky Spellings in Cartoons, which I'm very happy to say has just got a beautiful makeover by Jessica Kingsley Publishers. It has the same spellings with a handful of new ones and new illustrations by the very talented Sophie Kennedy. It's in two English language versions, the British edition and the American one, because of differences in the spelling systems. Where did the book idea come from? In 2010, I was a dyslexia tutor and I really enjoyed working with primary and secondary learners. I had a group of adult dyslexic teacher training students who gave me sleepless nights because of their literacy skills test. They had to take it in their final year at university and it had a spelling component that was really hard to pass. There was a long list of spellings they had to learn, and the more traditional memorising methods we used weren't working for most of them. So we decided to make up mnemonics, things that worked as memory triggers, including the maddest, weirdest possible mnemonics that would definitely trigger the memory for those words during the test. If there was a mnemonic that already existed, we used it, like there's a rat in separate blah blah, which everyone knows. If there wasn't, we looked at anything that was personal to the student, anything they could latch on, even if it was completely bonkers. As it turned out, a lot of the mnemonics were actually quite clever. They were sharp and they were catchy. I kept a record of all the mnemonics and I recycled them with new students. At some point I had so many, I thought I had to share them. The 200 Tricky Spellings book was a hit, but nothing prepared me for the joy the next book brought to my life. Tricky Spellings in Cartoons for Children. The book is now published in the US with a new green cover. The original blue book, is still available in the UK. It's the same idea as 200 Tricky Spellings, but for children. It's been absolutely amazing receiving so many wonderful messages from parents and teachers who loved it. The big illustrations with vivid colours literally grab children's attention and the learning just happens without much effort. But it's not just the graphics. There's a lot of gentle humour that really makes the book.
I opened the book and said to my daughter, who is 7 and dyslexic, "How do you spell what?" W-O-T. We then read the first page together. Her face was a total picture. Total joy and realisation. W-hat. T-hat. We moved on to when, on the second page. After no more than 5 minutes, she got it totally. It was just a different way of showing it. It clicked for her. To see my daughter's face light up, she got it, totally got it. Finally, we have found a method that just might work for our child, and she is for the first time excited to be practicing spellings.
My daughter is in year 1. She loved this book as soon as she saw it and has been asking to use it every day. She likes the cartoons and stories used to illustrate the words. The additional activities, such as tracing words in flower, have also been a big hit. My daughter twice got full marks on a spelling test last term. On both occasions, the words tested were covered in the book, and we used the mnemonics alongside other methods suggested in the book. Felt effortless and fun.
I couldn't teach without humour. I know many teachers and tutors who use humour every day, but actually few of us stop to think about the sheer potential it holds for our learners. Humour triggers our brain's reward system by releasing dopamine, and dopamine increases our motivation. When we are motivated, we find learning enjoyable. When learning is enjoyable because it's fun, it becomes memorable because the information ends up in the long-term memory networks in our brain. And so humour is a natural tool to increase learners' retention of spellings or anything that is particularly tricky to remember. When something is funny or intriguing, it creates a beautiful sense of wonder, a feeling that something is possible, that we can do it.
When we realise that we really, really struggle with something or even completely fail at something, our natural response is crying, shouting, or laughing, coming up with a joke, making other people laugh with us. It's better to laugh when learning spellings than giving up on them. I used even more humour in my punctuation book that came out last year. It's as much about punctuation as it is about mistakes. Every chapter starts with possible punctuation errors because mistakes are important. Not only are they expected, they are key for learning. And how to make children curious about their errors? By making the mistakes funny but baffling, resulting in light bulb moments. My books have been described as silly, but silliness is a great learning tool. When we are silly, our bodies and our brains relax, and any anxiety goes away. I am more likely to look at a hard spelling if the story around it is silly in an appealing way, so I can't help but think about it. We can only be silly when we trust someone. If someone makes you laugh, you immediately trust this person. If a book makes you laugh, you like it and remember it. You trust what it says. Laughter opens us up, not only to other people, but also to learning.
Remember how you felt the last time someone made you smile, made your heart grow. There's no better feeling. Actually, there is. Remember how you felt the last time you learned something with no effort and you laughed a lot. That's the best feeling. Happy spelling.